and welcome to an episode of Restoring the RAV. This is part of a mini-series I decided to create where I take this 2003 Toyota RAV4 and restore it back to somewhat original condition. Now, if you haven't already done so, be sure to watch the introduction video where I go over all the faults and things that's wrong with this vehicle, so that way you're kind of caught up in what's going on. Now, this being the third episode, I've decided I'm going to make this just a whole cleaning the car episode, and that's the one I said I was looking forward to the most, and I definitely am now. So you may not be able to tell from on camera, but the car is in fact pretty dirty, believe me. Fortunately, the dirt does cover a lot of the scratches, which is nice, but unfortunately when I wash it off, I will notice more of them, I'm sure. But in today's episode, it's going to be the exterior and the interior detail, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Okay, I just finished washing the car and it looks a heck of a lot better than it did before. And as a little bonus, I installed an OEM roof rack and it looks so much better. The car doesn't look naked anymore. It looks like it's an actual RAV4. But the one thing that does let this car down is the headlights. They unfortunately look awful. It kind of looks kind of like a beater vehicle. So now I'm gonna fix those. Okay, so I just taped around the headlight to protect the paint on the vehicle. And now we can finally get to polishing these headlights. And because these headlights are so badly hazed, I decided to use two kits here. One is this Rain-X kit, which actually comes with sanding paper, which is going to be really good to get the heavy stuff off. And then this is more of a polishing kit and a clear coat to apply afterwards, so that way they don't oxidize again right away. So this will be the first step. This will be the second step. Let's get to it. Okay, I've just sanded them down using the Rain-X headlight restoration kit, and already they look so much better, but I haven't even polished them yet, so I'm going to do that now, and then hopefully they'll look a lot better. Okay, this is actually day 2 now. I had to stop yesterday because, of course, you know, when you start washing your car and start detailing it, it's gonna rain. So therefore, I actually had to stop as it was getting too bad. But luckily, I was able to finish the headlights, and of course, they look so much better. I can't even believe it. It almost looks like a new car. But, you know, there is still some defects in the paint I'll have to work out on a later date, as I did notice more scratches when I was washing it. So, with all that being said, I think it's time to look at the inside of the vehicle and see what we can do there to make it look much better. Okay, so stepping foot inside the interior here, you probably see all these leaves. These are actually the leaves from inside the glove box here. In behind it is the cabin air filter, and when I took it out, it was just, well, it didn't even want to come out because of all the leaves. So had to just leave them there for now. I knew I'd be cleaning it today, so it's all good. And there is, again, I said it in my introduction video, there is an awful lot of mold right here. Probably see it. I will be wearing a mask when I clean this car because of all the mold. You have to have some on the headliner and the visors. So again, I will be wearing protective equipment because it's going to be pretty gross, and I want as much ventilation as possible. So of course I'm going to have the doors open and everything else. Now this is what the dash looks like currently. Again, not terrible. To make my life easier and clean this vehicle, I decided to remove all the seats. As you can see, these rear seats are really easy to remove. Titan made it really good job of these rear seats, and that way you can easily remove them from the vehicle. So thank you very much, Toyota. There's definitely no subtle hints when I was cleaning this vehicle that the previous owner was a heavy smoker. You can see all the wrappers there from the cigarette packs. Fortunately, the vehicle didn't smell like smoke, but definitely a lot of wrappers to clean up for sure. Inside the glove box is a whole nother story. It looks like we had Bob Ross's happy little friend made a little nest in there. That was really fun to clean. As you can see, that's the fan motor. That's pretty gross. A lot of leaves in there. So bad that I actually had to use my steamer just to steam clean everything. There was some mold in there and on the air filter housing. Try to think of many ways of trying to clean this headliner. One by removing it, and the second was just doing what I'm doing now, and that's just simply using the upholstery cleaner and just do a lot of hard work. In the end, it did work out. I did get pretty much all the mold off the headliner, which was nice. And that is the bucket right there. That is just from the headliner alone. It was pretty gross. It wasn't until recently I discovered that these brush heads existed for drills and that they're pretty cool. And they're also extremely useful in getting that heavy caked in material out of upholstery and carpets. I'd recommend to anyone who's going to be detailing their vehicle, if you want to get that little bit of extra work and make their life that much better, definitely invest in one of these. It's extremely useful. Looking at these seats in direct sunlight, they don't look that bad, but believe me, they are horribly filthy. A lot of dirt was caked into these seats, especially this one here, the driver's seat. This one took me the longest to do. I actually lost count of how many times I had to empty the bucket afterwards. It was just so disgusting. At this point of working on the seats, I was really wishing that I had leather seats instead, because leather seats are so much easier to keep clean. Now onto my favorite part of cleaning, using my newly discovered tool, the steamer that I recently bought. It's awesome. It makes cleaning so much easier, especially the hard caked in stuff on plastics. And it just makes it feel a lot more better using water instead of harsh chemicals to clean the stuff. Because there was mold inside the vehicle, I ended up using a little bit of vinegar just to kind of help kill off that mold, but mostly effective. Without it, it was perfect. I'm afraid I'm going to have to stop the video there, because unfortunately I have some bad news. And no, it's not the weather report in behind me here. It's the fact that the RAV4 has been destroyed. An unfortunate accident that took place in May of this year. And unfortunately, the accident was not a predictable accident by any means. It was an accident that was just caused to the fact that one of my brake calipers had locked up, had seized basically, and caused me to steer into a pole on the highway. Fortunately, I wasn't hurt and nobody else was hurt. Unfortunately, the vehicle, however, as you can see in the pictures, was destroyed. And unfortunately, it's no longer with us, as I just said. May it rest in peace. You know, it was a good car for the period of time that I had it. I will say, doing all this cleaning is very satisfying, for sure. Therefore, everything is done now mechanically. Very happy with it. Yes! It starts. And it goes! Again, unfortunately, it is now gone. Somewhere, it's probably in a scrapyard, but I'm sure someone is getting parts off of it as we speak. So hopefully for them, they're enjoying whatever parts they can get. Anyways, I want to say thank you very much for watching today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And be sure to check out my other videos on the channel and the other parts of this series as well. And if you aren't a subscriber, consider subscribing to the channel for more automotive reviews and DIYs. Again, thank you very much. Take care. Bye now.